Hello and welcome to episode 25 of BM by BM. I am Melinda Bailey.
I'm Andrew Axie.
Yes.
I'm right here.
Yes, you are.
Welcome to, go ahead, episode 25.
Yes, and we will be discussing V for Vendetta.
Fantastic. So V for Vendetta is a film starring Natalie Portman, of course, a couple other people. So in the movie, this is a dystopia. We are into these, right? So for once, the setting is not in North America, United States. This is in England, right? And so very controlling government, and you're gonna have to help me here with some of the details. But anyway, so basically, there's a masked sort of vigilante terrorist-ish.
Yes.
Person, right, who's fighting back against the government.
Yes.
And their oppression. V. Right.
Yeah. I just had a spark.
Say it.
Do you think it was V because of?
Could be.
Because this is like the finger
in
England.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We apologize to our English audience who
sorry,
may have seen that. It was for dramatic purposes. So anyway, right? She's not a crook. Don't worry. Yes.
Oh, Nixon. When that was all of America's problems. Continue.
Right. So anyway. So, Natalie Portman's character, Evie, so basically teams up with V to take on the government. All right.
Yes.
Carry on.
So, according to Wikipedia, it talks about how the United Kingdom is ruled as a Nordic supremacist and neo-fascist police state by the Northspire Party, helmed by all-powerful High Chancellor Adam Sutler. It also says political opponents, immigrants, Jews, Muslims, atheists, homosexuals, and other undesirables,
of course,
are imprisoned and executed in concentration camps. The Irish are not exterminated, but are considered inferior compared to the people of Nordic and British descent. So on November 4th, a vigilante in a Guy Fawkes mask rescues Evie Hammond. Evie works for the state-run British television network, and he rescues her from the secret police. There are fireworks, and the 1812 overture is played as a building is destroyed. So V takes Evie to his home, where she is told she must remain for 1 whole year. So he kind of tells her how things are. Evie gets in touch with her boss and tells him what is up because she works for the TV. So she tells her boss, who's a talk show host, what is happening. Whew, man. This film, which is based on a graphic novel, takes dystopia to a whole new level because it talks about concentration camps where these people are treated and how they are trying to be rehabilitated by the government. V was part of a concentration camp, and he was trying to be rehabilitated by the government, but he was able to escape, which is one of the reasons why he wears a mask, because of how he looks from his treatment in the camp. So it's just a lot of the government being in power, people not knowing what's going on. The media is controlled by the government. It's just a lot. Continue.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's I guess what I would say is the portrayal here of the use of violence to protest against violence, right? Against the mass violence being done, both physical violence and kind of the very controlling stuff of the, I don't know how to say. How do you say oppression? So anyway, yeah, that seems to be relevant right now, is the use of violence to fight back against oppression. In this film, V and Evie are the protagonists, right? And they're clearly using violence towards that end. Is violence justified when you are fighting back against oppressive forces?
I don't know. I mean, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said that nonviolence is the answer to the moral and political injustices of our system. And Gandhi was also a huge proponent of nonviolent protest. But I think, especially in our country, which we did not have an idea of what would happen when we made this list,
right?
Violent protests have become a lot more prevalent. I think I've seen a lot of stories of how protesters have been treated, even with rubber bullets. Rubber bullets can still break your skin and cause you to go blind in an eye. Tear gas can affect you.
Right.
I saw a clip on Twitter of someone bringing their child to a protest, and the child ended up getting tear gassed in their eyes. But then again, I live in Baton Rouge, and they had a peaceful protest on a Sunday where people were able to bring their children, and they just walked to the state capitol and held signs and talked about what they wanted to see happen. So I think there's a disparity between violent and nonviolent protests. I think it can escalate quickly, but I am not in an area that's been affected like other areas in our country right now at this time.
Yeah, it's I wonder, you characterized what happened in Baton Rouge as a peaceful protest. I wonder how many of those folks that engage in protests in other places set out to engage in non-peaceful protests. You do say they can turn quickly, but how many? Well, to hear some tell it, that is exactly the point. But how many people say, I'm going to go join this protest that I hope devolves into a riot? Yeah, it's yeah. The clearly, well, I would say this. So the film was made 2005, so 15 years ago. Clearly not intended as any kind of commentary on what's happening today, but it's hard not to see some level of parallel just in that part about and again, this is not a mass movement in the film. This is a small number of people, like and very clearly a vigilante, right? That's taking violent action. And we want to be clear here on our show. We're not discussing whether or not you should be a vigilante. That's not at all what we're considering.
Nor would we condone it.
No, But as a, more broadly, kind of, when is, what is it that Shakespeare says?
He says a lot of things.
Violent delights have violent ends. That's probably not quite what he meant in Romeo and Juliet, but that, if you are ruling and if the society orders itself through force, how can the emergence of force, how can the propagation of force be surprising?
Like if you say that schools and teachers teach children to hate their own country, why would teachers not get upset about that?
Right. Yes. So, what we got here on this film? I'm going to give it a very violent.
Yes.
Caveat emptor here. If you're going to watch this thing,
it's emotional. It's a lot to watch.
Yeah. So we're gonna tell you what to expect there, and then leave it to you, good viewers, to decide. Let's make this. What you say? We make this a tight one here and wrap it up.
Yes.
All right. What you got?
Well, I believe that the one of the most famous scenes of the film is where Natalie Portman shaves her head, or her head is shaved. And I believe they did that in one take, very similar to Anne Hathaway when she was playing Fantine in Les Miserables. Right. So, again, going with the concentration camp ideology of this film, like you are stripped of so much when you are put in these camps and trying to be rehabilitated or indoctrinated by the government that is at play. And I also think we would be remiss if we did not take a minute to acknowledge Guy Fawkes Day and the mask that V wears.
Right.
Are you familiar with Guy Fawkes Day?
Grew up in Nigeria. We're basically British. Yes, carry on for our viewers who are not.
Well, yes, but would you like to share as a...
No, go ahead.
So it's the 5th of November, and basically a guy tries to blow up Parliament.
Right.
But it does not go well.
Right.
And I don't think they ever actually set an explosion. It was found out before it happened.
Right. Correct.
So then he was arrested, and bye-bye Guy Fawkes, never again. But why did they celebrate it as a holiday?
Because it was the day crisis was averted. Guy Fawkes himself is not celebrated. The foiling of Guy Fawkes. You burn Guy Fawkes in effigy, and you like, ha ha, sucks to be you, Guy Fawkes, kind of thing.
And yet people still wear that mask, like Anonymous.
Yes.
Community of hackers that threatens to expose people. They use that mask that V wears in the film, right, and was drawn in the graphic novel, still to this day. It's very interesting.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. I just want to give it a nod for its desire to treat this subject of what lengths will individuals go to try to redress the wrongs when, and we didn't talk a lot about V himself and his own personal torture, would you say? That he's subjected to. So when enough happens, what lengths will you go to when enough has been done to you to try to set all that right? So acknowledge that in this film.
And it's nice to finally see Hugo Weaving in a positive role model role besides Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, because he's often a bad guy.
Correct. Yes, you could argue that he is one here as well. But
or is he a good guy?
Time. Yeah, absolutely.
Or is he just what he was made to be by the government and state in which he lives?
There you go.
All
right. What's coming up on Friday?
Oh, goodness. I do not remember. I feel like we should have spoken in British accents.
Oh, would have been lovely.
I say, righto, bother. We've been reading Winnie the Pooh.
Have you?
We have. It's been fun.
All right. So
what is on tap?
What is on tap? Coming up for us is Escape from New York.
Oh my gosh, yes.
All right.
Nothing like a little lighthearted dystopia.
Right. So let's move from dystopia to dystopia. We'll see you. We will see each other for the show, and hope that you will enjoy it the next time we're on BM by BM.
By BM. Boom.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.